I have plans for you, child. Rise.
This is Justin Haywald filling in for our reviewer, Brett Todd. Little things make all the difference in Divinity Original Sin 2. While this role-playing masterpiece from Larian Studios hits the high notes as well as the low in its epic saga about divine ascension, quieter moments resonate just as much as epic god-killing scenes. But pulling at your heartstrings is not all that the game does well. Larian has crafted one of the finest role-playing epics of all time, packed with meaningful choices, evocative writing, and superb acting, all of which combine to form a wholly believable world. The detailed and free-flowing combat engine provides a challenging and rewarding turn-based tactical battles that add tension to every action. And every member of your party feels more like a real individual than the usual collection of buffs and numbers found in most RPGs. As with its predecessor from 2014, Divinity Original Sin 2's setting remains the D&D-infused fantasy land of Rivellon, but the clock has been moved forward centuries, so you don't technically need any familiarity with the first game. You take on the role of a sorcerer, a name referring to those that draw arcane power from a mystic material called Source, but deploy Source powers and bizarre creatures show up to kill everyone in sight.
Vermin, thieves, pests, leeches. Worms take you. This world is ours.
Because of this, you're viewed as a danger to society by a governing body of inquisitors who claim to serve the divine order and protect society by rounding up and curing sorcerers. The story begins with you and the other members of your 4-person party being sent off to the island prison of Fort Joy with Source blocking collars around your necks. You soon realize that you have a greater destiny to fulfill, however. You and the other members of your party discover that you are Godwoken, demigods who have a chance to ascend and basically replace the 7 gods under threat by creatures from the void.
That's where I come in. With my help, you'll be capable of so much more than strumming a lute for a few gold coins.
This epic saga is a big undertaking. Expect to use up the better part of 60 to 70 hours to complete the main questline and a good portion of many of the side quests. The story isn't just extensive though, it's detailed and gripping, largely due to how it avoids good versus evil fantasy archetypes common to RPGs. While you start off with persecuted sorcerers on one side and oppressive magisters on the other, events soon carry you into a world of unrelenting gray where most people are trying to do the right thing, yet failing miserably. Even the paladin faction that shows up in the game as heroes turn into blinkered zealots. Basically, nobody can be trusted, not even your comrades, as only one of you can ascend to godhood. You're left wide open when it comes to determining a course of action, with nothing in the game forcing you down any particular road. Play good, play evil, play something in between. This approach is incredibly freeing. It lets you guide your character and party according to your own moral compass, or lack of one.
I'd forgive this soul. Punishment must fit the crime. This doesn't.
Anyone who marches at the head of an undead host deserves whatever punishment they get.
Freedom with character design and development really boosts this feeling. Every hero comes with a wide range of core attributes, plus civil abilities, combat abilities, skills, talents, source abilities, and more. 5 racial choices blend the expected, humans and dwarves, with the offbeat. Elves who consume body parts, undead who pick locks with their skeletal fingers and hide their bony faces to avoid scaring NPCs. You can roll your own protagonist or choose from one of 6 provided characters representing each race, each of which comes with a specialized storyline that immerses you deeper into the saga.
The voice that rings inside me now is darker than any that came before. Almost caused a bunch of my fans to rip each other to pieces. But you can trust me. I've got this under control.
Even then, you're allowed a free hand to customize everything. You're also able to tell those joining your party what sort of adventurer you want to employ, picking from a wide range of classes. So if you want to take on, say, the arrogant lizard Red Prince or the sinister elf Sebel, you're not locked into a set class as you would be in most RPGs. At a glance, combat is not much different from many other computer RPGs. Battles are turn-based, with action points governing all activities. But where Divinity Original Sin 2 differs from its peers is with the importance it gives to terrain and environmental elements. Pools of water can be frozen into slippery sheets of ice. High ground gives boosts to damage, and low ground restricts it. Enemies turn these battlefield features into advantages too. As a result, battles are damn tough. Many play out like puzzles, where you almost have to play through and lose at least once in order to figure out how the enemy will hit you and determine a way to counter their moves for a second, or third, or fourth try. But quest design is less forgiving when it comes to second chances. You can and will screw up, but the adventure rolls on regardless. An NPC can be randomly killed, shutting down a quest before it starts. Sometimes you simply cannot succeed at a skill check necessary to move a particular adventure along. Failing persuasion checks is fairly routine, forcing you to figure out another way forward, and damn the consequences. Where most RPGs let you push on and experience almost everything in a single playthrough, it's impossible to experience all that this one has to offer in one play, or maybe even 2 or 3. Quests are not perfect though. The journal system of tracking them isn't nearly robust enough to keep up with how many you have going on at any given time. You can't search it, and even worse, key elements are frequently not included in the text descriptions. As a result of this quest confusion, you can spend too much time wandering around searching for a key location that, for reasons unknown, was not noted on the map. Some will believe this to be a good thing, that we finally have a serious RPG that doesn't hold the hands of its players, but this issue seems more like a disconnect between how quests are offered up during the game and how they're tracked in the journal than any commitment to old-school difficulty. In addition to the expansive single-player campaign, you can also play with friends cooperatively or dive into an even truer pen-and-paper role-playing simulation with Game Master mode. But this is the kind of game that you're best off playing online with friends. The involved story and the necessity to use teamwork in combat make the game too challenging if you're adventuring with uncooperative strangers. From lonely farmhouses through pitched battles with gods in far-flung dimensions, Divinity Original Sin 2 is one of the most captivating role-playing games ever made. Its immaculately conceived and emotion-wrought fantasy world topped by brilliant tactical combat make it one of the finest games of the year thus far, and it has to be regarded as an instant classic in the pantheon of RPG greats.